What is up, everybody? It's Pat Voss, and I am here live on YouTube, guys, through way of Google Hangouts of my new show. It's JCT, guys. JCT. It's Just Chill Truth, coming live at you guys at least once a week, so come check me out. I will be seeing if you can see me here live. I'd like for you to see the chat on the side. Let me see the chat here. If anybody wants to chat, you can list and chat with me. That'll be fine. But there's a couple of things I wanted to cover today. It's just the truth, guys. Just the mother, father truth. Hold on a second. Let me get that chat out of the way. There we go. Okay, so what I wanted to do today, guys, I wanted to talk about a few things. Trump firing Scaramucci. And Tony Scaramucci, it looks like a crooked government figure. To me, unfortunately, I just think that it's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black in this situation. I really do think it's a hypocritical situation and a hypocritical president that we do have, and that's willing to own up to his hypocrisy and still try to own the presidency at the same time, which is, I guess a balls to the wall type of thinking. If they want me out, they're going to get me out. If they don't want me out, they're not going to get me out. And then that's fine. But for Scaramucci to be in office for 11 days and then be out, to me is ridiculous. And I understand with the firing of former FBI Director James Comey, with the new hiring of a new FBI director just recently, within the last 48 hours. The Russia investigation seems to have stalled. For some reason, I don't think that this is being handled the right way. I think Trump is being able, and sorry, my microphone, I can move it around and stuff, and I just don't feel like I'm getting the best sound out of it. With Trump still in office, I really feel that he should be impeached, and that's just me. I mean, if you're going to fix an election or try to attempt to fix an election, then not come back on your promises. You kind of go back on your promises, and then you lie about it. And now more and more things are coming out that you did lie about it. It's time to leave. It's time to get your ass out of office. Another thing I wanted to talk about real quick. The Cubs are on the rise. Now, the Cubs are from my hometown of Chicago, Illinois. They are now, I think it's 14-3. I want to say it's 14-3 or something like that since they came back from the All-Star break in July. 14-3. So the best record after the break is owned by Joe Madden and these new look Cubs over the last about 3 years. They were here. He was here in 15. He came here in 16. He was here. Now he's here for 17. So 15, let me recap for you guys. You don't believe that they're on the rise? 2014, they only won 70-something odd games. Okay? 70-something odd games. That was 2014. 2015, they win 97 games, and they take third place in the NL Central and all of Major League Baseball, then beating out in the wild card game, the Pittsburgh Pirates, who were second in the league, record-wise, and in the NLDS beating the St. Louis Cardinals out in 4 games, who were the number 1 team in the league. So now they were the best team standing come NLCS, and they get swept by the New York Mets. They were not ready for that big of a stage, apparently, even though they had made the huge turnaround from 70-something wins to 73 wins, I think it was, to 97 wins, a 24-win turnaround in 1 year. That's amazing. And then the very next year, they win 103 games, another 6 games added on to the year prior, and they win the World Series in 7 games in the 10th inning, the infamous 10th inning rain delay game against the Cleveland Indians. So if you don't believe that the Cubs are on the rise and the Cubs have made it, they've made it, people. I'm sorry. If you're not a Cubs fan and you're now trying to hop on the bandwagon, it's too late for you. We've already been on this wagon, okay? We were the true fans waiting for our Cubs to win a World Series, and kind of like in 2005 when the White Sox won the World Series and a lot of people hopped on their bandwagon saying, now I'm a Sox fan. Well, those same Sox fans in 2005 were the same people that were saying go Cubs in 03. I don't like these overall Chicago fans. They don't sit well with me. There's two teams in the same city. You don't see a New York Mets fan saying I love the Yankees, and you don't see a Yankees fan saying I love the Mets. And you sure as shit don't see a Mets fan or a Yankees fan saying they love the Red Sox and vice versa. So for this to be the one city where it's all fun and games if it's a Chicago team, that's bullshit. Don't kid yourself, people. It is BS, and that's just the truth. You want the truth, you're going to get it here. All right? You might not like the truth here, but you're going to get it here. Another thing, LeVar Ball. LeVar motherfucking Ball. What is going on with you, dude? You have lost your goddamn mind. You are trying to be a marketing genius, and you've lost your fucking mind, guy. You have lost your mind. And I understand the power play that you're trying to play. You tried to promote your son's, shoes for your son, rather, and that failed. And your son didn't even want to wear your shoes. Then you try to say that he's the best, and you try to promote him, and you get him. He gets picked up by the Lakers, and he won't play for anybody else but L.A. And who are you, his fucking agent? You're not his fucking agent. Get out of here, LeVar. Get your old ass out of here. Go coach your younger son. Go yell at him and be part of Trophy Kids Part 3.5 or some shit. Go do that, dude. Go make yourself miserable and look like an ass somewhere else. But Lonzo Ball has a great chance about being an amazing talent in the NBA. Don't fuck that up for him, LeVar. Do not fuck that up for him. Don't be his worst enemy, because I guarantee that's what's going to happen. You are going to be his worst enemy come his NBA career. If in the first few years it turns out to be great, he's going to forget all about you. He might mention you in his Hall of Fame speech, but you're going to be sitting on the sidelines, trust me. No matter how tight you think your family is, you're sitting on the sidelines until the end of his career. And another thing, I understand there is a power play because you lost out on your son on the shoe deal. You lost out on trying to make an ass of yourself the first few times. Then you take your team off the court, which I understand, stand for principles. That's great. But when you take it too far and you jeopardize some kid's future because they're actually winning a game and it could be something that they can put in the win column, you forfeit a fucking game up by 9 because of a technical foul. Fuck you, old man. Fuck you. That is truth and honesty right there. Don't be a bitter old man because you didn't make it, because you're not up on this pedestal, because you have to watch other kids do what you can't do. Stop making yourself on a pedestal. You will get knocked the fuck off by the greatest people in the world. And those athletes know they're the greatest. Michael Jordan, what are you, an idiot? You're going to call out Michael Jordan? Now, I understand. I'm from Chicago. I completely understand. I'm from Chicago, and it does sound biased that I'm saying that MJ is the best and MJ is the greatest and whatever else. And yes, if you want to go by the numbers, that's awesome. It took LeBron a lot more games he had to play to pass Michael Jordan's game record and playoff record, points record. That's great. But let's take a second and think about this for a second, okay? LeBron James took him, 9 or 10 years, I want to say. What was he in the league for? 9 plus that. So before he won his first title, I think he was in the league for 11 years? Jordan was only in the league for 6? He was in the league for 6. Then he wins 3 in a row. Then he takes 2 years off, basically. Mentally, he's 2 years off. Takes a year and a half off. They still get to the playoffs, though, regardless. But taking a year and a half off and then getting to the playoffs, he was not mentally in that shape to go, okay, let's win another title. Okay, well, that's 95. 96, he wins another title. 97, 98, 2 more titles. Another three-peat. And you're going to tell me that, and media is going to say that LeBron James is the best or possibly in the discussion? Are you kidding me? There's no way. There's just no way he's in the discussion. There's no fucking way. He's not even in top 5 to me. He's a great player now. But again, the league has gotten softer. The league has gotten where people can't touch anybody, where there can't be more defensive plays. There can't be anybody breathing on anyone or else there's a foul called. So come back a little bit. Come back to the 90s. Come back to reality, LeBron and LeBron's fans and the media who loves him. Come back to reality, guys. That's all I'm begging you. Come back to reality and see that he is not the best. He's not even in the fucking top 5. He's not. He's not in the top 5. I'd put Bird, Magic, hell, fuck. I'd even put Isaiah Thomas ahead of him as Isaiah Thomas's career went. Isaiah Thomas, Bird, Magic, Jordan. There's 4. There's only one more spot, and you're telling me LeBron fills that up? Now, I've had this LeBron rant before. It's on my other channel. It was on the Honesty Podcast channel, which I have actually uploaded that video. I have uploaded that video to my JCT channel. And I just don't see it. I don't see how he's the best. I don't see how he's even in the fucking conversation. He's not in the conversation. Hell, Curry has been in the league for how long? Curry's been in the league for what? Curry's been in the league for 8 years now. Has 2 titles already. If they win this next year, he's got his 3rd title, tying LeBron James in number of titles by the time LeBron James won his first in his career. Get the fuck out of here, guys. It's not even close. It's not even close. Okay? I'm going to move on because I'm getting a little frustrated with this. Next one is WWE dying. Is the WWE dying? I think so. I think the brand is failing. And I love WWE. Now, I won't call it WWE, and I know I probably can get sued for calling it WWF. But WWF, the World Wrestling Federation, for the longest time, from the 1950s on, was the predominant sports entertainment factor in life. Everyday life, that's what you're thinking about. Sports entertainment. And that was WWF. And now Vince McMahon, great businessman. He's trying to, before he dies and leaves a legacy, he's trying to leave the right legacy and let this thing keep moving. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. I figure after he passes away, after Shane wants nothing more to do with the company, then it's left to Stephanie and Triple H, and the game's over. The game's over. Not saying Stephanie and Triple H are not creative minds, not saying they're not hard workers and great business folks, but being business-minded and being strong that way, and then being part of a great creative team that had the Attitude Era to lean on, I really don't think that they have a leg to stand on come the passing of Vince McMahon and the eventual retiring and leaving of the business of Shane McMahon. I say then the business dies. Now, that might not be for 15 more years or so, 15, 20 more years, but it will come. The end of WWE will come. The fact that they're going to try to stretch it probably to 2050 is awesome. If they can have WWE or wrestling entertainment for 100 years, that's entertaining. That is interesting. I don't think they're going to get there, but we'll see. I've been wrong before, and I may be wrong again. I feel like people, and I have watched YouTube, and I will say, watching YouTube and watching a few other outlets and seeing how the UFC is becoming like the WWE and kind of cross-platforming, and people are acting more outrageous in UFC and being more of characters than regular people just trying to make money by fighting and using mixed martial arts to win. But Conor McGregor does it best, though. I'm sorry. Right now, of this era, Conor McGregor does it best as far as the trash talking and having a persona and living up to the persona. That's the biggest thing, guys. Don't forget that. When you're talking Floyd Money Mayweather, you're talking Jose Aldo, or you're talking, the best of all time. Now, one of my all-time favorites, Anderson Silva. He knew how to talk. He knew how to be, even in the ring, he was trying to be respectful until you disrespect him. If you disrespect him, then he becomes cocky. Then he waves himself around. He still front kicks you in the face and knocks your ass out in 2 rounds. But Anderson the Spider Silva was one of my favorites. Mighty Mouse Johnson, Demetrius Johnson of the flyweight division in men's. He is great as well. Pound for pound, some of the greats out there. But the slowly or steadily rising great right now at this current moment, along with Demetrius Johnson, is Conor McGregor. Now, Demetrius Johnson, I will give him, and I don't give Conor McGregor top pound for pound a boxer or a fighter or anything like that. I give that title solely to Mighty Mouse. But I do give the trash talking persona, the ability to talk and then back it up. That is fully on Conor McGregor. That's his throne. That is his realm, guys. He owns it. He owns it. And unfortunately, for everyone else, he makes the money that other people wish they could make. Well, if they'd step into the ring and they weren't antisocial, then maybe they would make more money. Let's see another thing here. WWE here. And another thing. Chris Cyborg challenging Becky Lynch. So Cyborg is the featherweight women's champion of UFC now. And Becky Lynch is, or was, I believe, I don't know if she still is, the women's world champion of WWE. Even though everybody knows WWE is staged. Yes, they are workhorses. Yes, they train. Yes, they're athletes in their own right. But when somebody like Chris Cyborg, who can knock a fucker out in one punch, challenges just for attention, really, Becky Lynch to a fight at SummerSlam just to get her name out there. That's what it is. It's Cyborg was caught for, I think, performance-enhancing drugs, couldn't cut weight, was having big issues through the UFC, and now that she's the featherweight champion of the world for the women's UFC division, she wants more notoriety in a cross-platform for WWE. That way she can transform back and forth. So if she decides to one day leave UFC in, let's say the next year or two, she leaves UFC, she can go transition over and become a women's wrestler in WWE, where she can still make a hefty contract. She'll be titled and branded as one of the baddest, motherfuckers to ever walk the earth in the women's division. And I see that. I see that marketability, and I like that. But I don't like that it started and Brock Lesnar opened a door that I think should have never been opened, and that was a fighter or a wrestler coming over, transitioning and fighting in the UFC. Although he did have success and he did win a heavyweight title while he was over in the UFC his first stint. So he did win gold. Okay, so he did do it. He did the NCAA first team All-American. I understand. Did that whole wrestling career, real wrestling career. Then he goes over to WWE, youngest champion ever to win gold. But that's all staged, though. Then he goes over to the UFC and really then again fights and is physically active as far as real fighting or real combat sports, comes back and wins gold again for real. So he has done it at every step, and I don't count his WWE career as real gold. I just count his wrestling career in college and his his career in the UFC. That's what I count, and this guy is impressive. He is, and then of course he gets caught after the Mark Hunt fight for PEDs, and he's on suspension there, and John Jones just called him out. Bones Jones just called him out in the UFC for either a catch weight or like a light heavyweight fight. Even if he has to bump up to heavyweight, John Jones is going to try to fight Brock Lesnar in another super fight. Not going to happen, but he's going to try to do it. And I truly believe that Brock Lesnar is a good example of why you should never go from one sport to the other, because now he went from WWE to UFC, had diverticulitis, got diagnosed with diverticulitis. It hurt him. He came back. He took his break, comes back to WWE. He's a fucking beast. He goes back to UFC for a fight, gets popped for PEDs. He's back in WWE. He's the champ now. It's like that back and forth bullshit. I mean, you think it's cross promotion, but really what it is a mockery of one sport or the other. That's what it really is. It's a mockery of combat sports or sports entertainment. Either way, it's a UFC fighter. It's not really bad for WWE, honestly, because they're fake. And not fake. I mean, there are real situations. People have lost their lives. I understand. But a UFC fight with 4-ounce gloves, getting hit and kicked in the face by a heavyweight at 205 plus, is harder, I would think, and harder to do on a regular basis than WWE flying people around a ring, I would think. Yes, the travel might be more taxing than a UFC fight, than a UFC camp, but the events themselves, I would say the UFC fight itself would be more taxing on your body and on your mind than anything else, regardless win or lose. So I wish he would have never opened that door, because now Chris Cyborg thinks she has a right to be funny on Twitter and ask Triple H for a match with Becky Lynch at SummerSlam this year in August, this month, August. I don't think so. Don't give it to her, Triple H. Don't buy into that bullshit. Let Cyborg take a rest up, get herself physically ready for another fight, and then fight either, let's say, Holly Holm faces off with either Cyborg or another person for an interim featherweight title. Let Cyborg take some rest and retrain for for the number one contender, and then have the winner of Holly Holm and the other woman fight Cyborg for the title, because I think Cyborg has earned that. She is just, I mean, I don't think she's lost in like 10 years. She's a fucking fighter, man. She's a great, and she's getting to that level. So let her rest, let her rest. Don't let her fuck around. R. Kelly, here's the next thing. R. Kelly accusations about leading a cult with women. I mean, to me, it kind of looks like, not so much like with the OJ case. The OJ case was a little different. The OJ case, everybody thought he did it, and was sure that he did the crime, so he would do the time in the 90s, and he got off, or he was acquitted. Then, lo and behold, a few years later, now he gets sentenced. He was sentenced to X amount of years. He was sentenced to X amount of years for armed robbery. So it's like, it's different. It's different where you say R. Kelly was accused of doing this, and it was an underage girl, and there was, these allegations and those allegations, and now it's that he's leading a cult full of women, and it's like, who do you think R. Kelly is, really? I don't think he's that intelligent. I'm sorry to say. That's like saying Eminem, is a world leader. It's not fucking true. He's great on a freestyle, but he's not a fucking world leader. And R. Kelly is not going to lead a Manson-style cult of women around and say, oh, well, now they're mine. I won't let them leave. I refuse to let them leave. Well, what kind of bullshit is that? Come on, guys. Stop trying to get these celebrities. Stop trying to get these guys that used to be very, very, very famous. Stop trying to get them in corners. Stop trying to back them in corners. I think the media is very biased in that way, and they want a story. And when they're running out of stories, which I can't believe, because how could they be running out of stories with the Trump presidency? But when you run out of stories and you have to make something up, or you have to accuse someone of something and really bring it into a court case or bring in on allegations, I think that's reaching. That's reaching a lot. Speaking of music world, we do have my final topic of the day. Sorry, I've been at it for a while here. Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber canceled his live tour. His world tour he canceled. Now, John Mayer, to my knowledge, is the only one that's really in favor of him that I saw on social media, that's really in favor of Justin Bieber ending his world tour and canceling it, saying, stop, while you're ahead, kind of quit while you're ahead, make sure you don't burn out all the way. And if you feel like you're getting to that point, step away. And I understand that, but the kid is how old? I don't step away. I keep broadcasting. I don't feel like coming down and doing a sports show, or not a sports show, but my gaming show, FKD RNG Gaming. I might not feel like doing it one day, but I'll get on the mic 5 days a week. I'll broadcast for you guys. I'll stream. I'll talk to you if you come in the room. And that's what you do. You bust your fucking ass. No matter what you do, bust your ass. Be the best in everything you do. And if you're willing to quit, if there is an ounce of quit in you, you'll find out. Whether it's world tours, whether it's press, whether it's whatever it is, you'll find out if you're a quitter or a winner in the situation. And I can almost guarantee, and I'm not saying Justin Bieber hasn't had great success over the years, but it always hit me as, when is this kid's luck going to run out? When is it going to run out? because you can't keep it going forever. You won't keep it going forever. Not an internet YouTube sensation. You're not going forever. I'm sorry. I know people want to believe in fairy tales and fiction and stuff like that, but you can't believe in that. It's not going forever. If you're a band, if you're a musical act, you're not going forever. You're not going to last forever. Just like comedians can last for a lot longer because they have other material in real life, and the situations come up throughout life that they can then make another special. If they're wanted and in demand enough, they can make another special, but eventually their time might come too. So eventually either you die out as far as relevancy, or you get tired and your body and mind crap out. So don't wait for one or the other. Yes, in one way I say, hey, he's been doing it for a while. He's been taking all this shit. He's been doing a lot of dumb shit too, but he's been taking all this shit and he's taking it in and doing the tours, and I see the whole thing about him not wanting to sign autographs now, and now he's canceling a world tour. This may be the beginning of the end for Justin Bieber, which is fine with me because who the hell really cares? But I'm happy that at least I could report it to you guys, and I can bring these little tiny issues, little blurbs here back and forth to you guys. I promise I'll have more of a conversation. If I can get Brennan on the line here on the Google Hangout, or I can get him on a Zoom meeting one day, I promise I will have it for you. On Zoom, it won't be live, though. It'll be a pre-recorded. On Google Hangouts, it'll be here, and I can download the audio, download the MP4, and I can take the audio file onto Free Studio. And I hope you guys enjoy. I'm shooting this from my new house. I know you see all the leaves and shit back there on the other side of the window. I've got all my sports shit around the back here. I've got my autographed baseballs from the World Series champion Cubs. From this side to this side, you got Ben Zobrist, Wilson Contreras, and Carl Edwards Jr., the MVP Ben Zobrist bobblehead. You've got the 25 card collection of the World Series trophies. And then down below on the other deck, you have the hats when they got to the playoffs in 2016, when the Cubs got to the World Series, and when they won the World Series. I have all three hats in a row, and hopefully and I also have the what's it called? The pennant as well, the World Series pennant. So hopefully they do it again this year and they repeat, and then I'll be able to buy that information and that stuff again, show you guys, maybe auction some of the 2016 stuff off if they win in 2017. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for checking out YouTube. I'll be on again, trying to do a little bit of blurb. I'll check out some news stories, some stuff in whether it's religion, politics, music, movies. And movies. So I'll get to that in just a second. Sports, entertainment, anything. I cover it for you guys, and I'll cover just the truth, like just my truth. So if you haven't figured it out by now, it is my honest opinions about all these subjects. It's just the truth, just chill truth here live on Podbean. I'll be on Podbean eventually, probably around October, around my birthday. And then for right now, I'll just be on YouTube on videos. And then you can find the audio of these podcasts. If you don't like watching the videos, you can watch or listen to the audio on your Podbean app, and you can listen to that through the car. You can Bluetooth that in through your speakers and listen to me on the way to work. Or if you've had a bad day and you want to laugh at me calling people fuckers, you can listen to me on the way home from work. Either way, tune in here. It's just Chill Truth. I'm Pat Voss. I'll see you guys later. Oh, and the movie thing. Dark Tower comes out on Friday. The Dark Tower series of books by Stephen King, my fiance Tivana Dawson, Devo from Rumor Has It, rumorhasitband.com, Hazit. She is a huge fan of the Stephen King novels, the Stephen King books, and that series, The Dark Tower. She loves it. So she is willing to be the ultimate critic on Friday and see where this thing goes. I'll see you guys later. Hopefully Dark Tower is good. I'll talk to you.